Dream.
Oh, Stingray!
Oh, sweet. Lauren, you are live. You are live.
A very good morning to everybody. We have a Stingray sighting, and I am at the Stingray car wash, so let's go find it. It's just here, and it's a southern Stingray. So I'm going to move out of the way so Rian can get a good shot for you. So just some quick introductions. You already know it's Lauren, and we do have the South African Rian on camera, and of course Aussie Patrick on the surface. So this Stingray does seem to have swam off, but let's just wait and see what it does for a little while. We'll keep our eye on it. I think it's possibly going for a clean. So if it is, this will be the perfect time to observe it. So whether I'm on my way to figure out what it's doing, Pat, you want to say hello?
Yes, welcome everybody to another Dive Live here at Casuarina Point on the western side of Grand Cayman Island, right out the front of Don Foster's. So we are about 200 metres offshore, or 600 feet offshore, at a spot we call the Stingray car wash, because the stingrays quite often come to this bommy to get a clean, and it looks like this one is doing exactly that.
So I can confirm it's resting, or possibly being cleaned, but I'm going to stay a little bit far back and let Rian go in and get a close-up for all of you watching. Now I am at 17 metres. So this is a lot deeper than we normally start, so this dive might be shorter, but definitely worth it. So this is a southern stingray, Daciatus americana. So it is really only found in this region of the world. Now, I'm a little bit behind, but this does look small. So not necessarily a juvenile, but it doesn't look like a fully grown adult. And it just appears to be lying on the sand. So Pat, if you get a closer view of what it's doing than me, you can let me know. It's either just literally taking a rest, or it is being cleaned.
Yeah, I can't see any cleaner fish on it, but we are a little bit away. But this is a great shot here. We're getting its eye just poking out of the surface
good.
there.
Okay, so you're getting a good view of it.
Yeah.
So, stingrays are cartilaginous fish. They are classified as fish, but their skeletons are made from cartilage. So this is this funny rubbery material that's at the end of our nose and our ears. They don't have a skeleton made from bone like you or I, or even like other bony fish on the reef. So that sort of separates them, but it does group them together with sharks. So believe it or not, sharks and rays are sort of the distant cousins of one another, and they are closely related for that reason, because of the cartilage skeleton. Now, cartilage is a lot weaker than bone, but it's way more flexible, it's less dense, and it is more resistant to disease. So that gives these awesome animals quite an advantage when swimming in the ocean. And if you look at the body shape, they do move those sort of wings, if you like, and that is how they're able to easily do that from the flexible material of cartilage. Yeah, now that I'm getting a good look at this guy, he's really small. He's not a juvenile, but he's definitely not an adult. And I'm just going to try and sex it. I do believe this is an immature male. So Rian, if you're able to get the claspers, I'll try and explain to everybody how I knew this was a boy. Now, at the base of the body, you will see two fins stick out, but then you will see two claspers run alongside the tail. Now, this is a reproduction organ of a male, so It is an external appendage, not so dissimilar to that of a penis, but it is an actual extension of the pelvic fin. So it's made from cartilage, and this is what they use to reproduce. So that is how I knew it was a boy. But because of the size of the actual ray and the size of the claspers, it's definitely not fully mature yet. Were you able to see them, Pat?
Yeah, we actually see them really well. So if you look just where the body joins the tail, you can see those two projections very clearly. Now, if we move further up towards the eyes more, I'll explain another structure on this stingray called the spiracles. So just behind the eye there, we can see that there's two little holes that are kind of constantly opening and closing. Now, what they do is they pump water in over the gills. So the gills are on the underside of the body. So this draws in water and allows water to go over their gills to extract oxygen. And this is how they can breathe without being in constant motion.
Yeah, they use the spiracles mostly when they're in a deep rest and when they're feeding. So like Pat mentions, it's sort of a secondary way to get oxygen because their mouth is on the underside. We cannot see it right now. So imagine if they're busy eating, but they also have to breathe. They would get a whole lot of sand in there. So they have the perfect sort of adaptation of having these spiracles, but it's not as efficient. So it doesn't draw in as much water as the mouth, so they don't rely on this one. It's sort of like a secondary one. And you can see those eyes, they have really quite beautiful eyes, but they really don't heavily depend on them. Both stingrays and sharks have a sixth sense, if you like. And this is where my nickname comes from. They are called ampullae of Lorenzini. So underneath that sort of nose snout, which we call the rostrum, is a large surface area, and the reason for that is that it's filled with lots of impulses in the water. So they don't really need their eyes. And they can also hunt at night time in the dark. It's a perfect adaptation for both sharks and rays. They can sense their prey before they even see their prey.
60 degrees.
No, they can't. Not 360 degrees.
And a big hello to my good mate Shano watching along. Good to see you online and joining us for this dive.
Yes, hi there. Oh, this is my first stingray sighting in a while, and I'm really happy right now. So stingrays are actually part of the batoid grouping, and you can see they just have this sort of dorsal-ventrally flattened body, and those wings that have adapted, their pectoral fins have adapted to sort of like wings, and obviously they have their tail. Now, stingrays got a really bad reputation in the media. I'm sure many of you have heard of the awesome animal expert Steve Irwin. He was my hero when I was growing up, for sure. And now Pat is a mini Steve, a media frenzy into how bad these guys are. Not aggressive. They will not harm you at all. They do just have a little barb on their tail, and this, guys, is really small. It's like an inch long, and it does contain venom. Now, they don't use this aggressively. It's just for self-defense. If it was frightened or it was endangered, then it has the protection of the barb. So it's just a small barb covered with a layer of skin that would puncture into the victim. That's all. They are not aggressive, and they don't actively mean to use the barb. Are you able to see what it's doing, Pat?
Yeah, we can see that it's kind of lifting up the front there, and do you think it's tenting, Lauren?
Oh, it has been cleaned. I can see some
fish. So maybe it's lifting up there to let some fish under to give it a clean.
Yes, so this also must be a cleaning area for stingrays, which is great for you guys to view because it's not just fish that need clean, it's also the megafauna, it's also the stingrays, the manta rays, the eels and all sorts, they also need to be cleaned as well. So the females tend to be much bigger than the males. And mating season for the southern stingray is in September in the Grand Cayman. So stingrays reproduce ovoviviparously. And what that means is that the male and female will copulate, and the eggs will be fertilized internally. Then the eggs will hatch internally, and the hatchlings will obviously feed on the yolk from the sac, and then the mother will give live birth. Now, southern stingrays in particular will give birth to anywhere between 2 to 10 pups, and that's what you call the babies, little pups. And one thing I learned recently is the amount of pups a female will give birth to actually directly correlates to the size of the mother. The bigger disc she has, and the disc is just this flat part of the stingray that you see, the bigger it is, the more pups she will have. So it really is an advantage to be a big female when you're in the world of stingrays. Yeah, so I think the stingray's mouth and gills on the underside are being cleaned right now.
Yeah, and it seems to be a little bit frustrated every now and again. It's giving a little twitch, so sometimes the fish go beyond their limits and will actually give the skin a bit of a nip, or just get in a really annoying place. But most of the time, they're very placid and grateful towards these cleaner fish. Now we can see that the skin looks quite smooth, but they're actually covered in a layer of teeth, almost like teeth, called placoid scales or dermal denticles. And this is what the spine comes from as well, a modified dermal denticle.
Yeah, so it's almost described like sandpaper when you touch a shark or stingray. One way it's really smooth, but if you were to run your hand the other way, backwards, it's very rough and very jaggy, if you like. So stingrays can give birth, they can mate annually, but the female will be pregnant. The gestation period is around 6 months, but that's sort of an average number. It does depend on the water temperature and the conditions. And a lot of observations about these animals have actually been made in captivity. They don't really know so much about them in the natural environment of the ocean. The same with manta rays. They're very closely related brothers and sisters. So they don't really observe mating too much. It's not so easy to sort of get on camera. But it has been confirmed that they have a sequence. So it starts with part 1, where the male, or should I say males, will follow the female very, very closely. So lots of males will compete for the female, which is nothing out of the ordinary, I guess. And then part 2 is when the male will bite the female. Now that's a really important part of the mating sequence. On a manta ray, the male bites the wingtip. On a stingray, he bites her disc at the bottom, and that is the start of copulation. So that is the start of the actual mating. And this is to control her. So he's able to hold her in place. Oh,
and off he goes.
And let's follow him. So the male is able to hold the female in place to insert his claspers. And this is where he will ejaculate and fertilize her eggs. Now this is very quick. He will just make a few thrusting motions, anywhere between 10 to 30 seconds, and that's it, over. And then we will move on to step 4, which is called resting, where the male will rest for a little while inside the female, and then this last part is separation. They go their separate ways, and that is that. The female is known to store sperm from different males inside her, and there is actually evidence that the paternity of a litter can have mixed fathers. So she will give birth to one litter of pups, but the paternity will be different. Isn't that incredible? She is able to choose the fittest father for her young ones.
That is incredible. Now, we have a question here from Proud Cat Mama. She wants to know, can stingray jaws crush mollusk shells?
Yes, they can. So they don't have teeth as such. Their teeth are made up from what Pat already mentioned, placoid scales. But they are very, very strong, and they are designed to crush crustaceans, mollusks, shells, shellfish. So it's not necessarily teeth like you and I have, but yes, they can, and that's exactly what they're designed for. And the interesting thing, even during breeding season, the male's teeth will change and become a little bit pointy. So this is a sign of sexual dimorphism. And they become pointy so that they can bite onto the female. And then, after breeding season, those teeth will be shed, and they will be replaced with just normal ones. So just like sharks, they can shed and replace teeth. Oh, what a great sighting.
Yeah, that's a great start to the dive. Now, we know you are pretty deep, Lauren, so can you just give us an air check there?
Yeah, sure. I have 120 bars. So we are going to go a little bit shallower now. We're just going to cross over this beautiful sandy patch. But we actually came out here with the hope of finding you all a stingray. And we did. So if you have any stingray questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I do love my rays. Oh, another one. Oh, this one's big.
Oh, yes, we can see that one cruising up now.
It's coming to the cleaning station. I want to try and get out the way. And guess who's following it?
Barjack.
Yes, it's got its good old friend, of Barjack. This is a big one. I would say this is an adult and it's a female. There's no claspers. So this stingray, oh, it's much bigger. I would say this one is an adult female. So southern stingrays can actually go up to about 1.5 meters, which is around 5 foot. Is that right?
Yeah, you got that right.
But on average, they're kind of more often found at around 80 to 90 centimeters. But this female is big, and I already told you guys that the females are much larger than the males. They can weigh around 90 kg, which is about 190 pounds, I think. Oh yeah, she's cleaning.
Yeah, so we have actually seen this a few times before now in this exact same spot. So this is why we call this place the Stingray Car Wash, because they'll come here to this bombing and press themselves up against the rock, just like what we're seeing now, and get themselves a nice clean.
Yeah, this is just fantastic. I'm over the moon to see some stingrays. So that means in order to show you the stingrays, we will remain a little bit deeper, but that's okay. I have lots of air, and even if the dive is a little bit shorter, I am sure everyone will still be happy to see some stingrays, especially if they're cleaning. Now the length of that tail within itself is huge.
Yeah, it looks like a very big girl there, and we can see that there's a lot of cleaning happening on top of it as well. There's a lot of fish there, a lot of surface area to cover, I suppose.
Oh yeah, so this must be the cleaning position. This must be where the stingrays come to get clean. So little cleaner fish, most likely cleaner gobies, will be waiting, and then their client, which is a stingray, comes along and they give them a good clean. Now, from most of the research that is done on cleaning stations in general, shows that most animals prefer to be cleaned in the morning. Cleaning stations are most active in the morning.
And a massive warm welcome to Andrew joining us on his first dive here. Good to see all my Aussie mates giving us plenty of support. So this is an awesome sighting here of this stingray, and as I said, it is something that we've seen before, so it always pays to check a cleaning station when you know that there's going to be something there getting a clean. And we can see it's holding itself up there by its anal fins. So these anal fins and the pectoral fins actually have been very modified from their cousins, the sharks. So you can see that the pectoral fins have turned into wings, and those anal fins sit right to the base there.
Yeah, most people are quite surprised when they find out stingrays and sharks are so closely related. And there is almost 500 different species of rays. And of course, the stingray is closely related to the eagle ray and the manta rays. I don't know how well you can see it, but you can see they're just sort of undulating those pectoral fins. And that's how they're moving, and believe it or not, they're moving a lot faster than they look. It's really hard to keep up with these guys, or this lady, should I say. So I think she's off. And I think the little guy is off as well. So we are just going to come a little bit shallower. What an exciting start.
Yeah, it's always great when we get joined by some rays. Now, Lauren, seeing as you are attracting all the rays, I would like an eagle ray as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, I am a bit of a ray-obsessed fan. So I'll see what I can do.
And what about a manta ray too?
I think I would just collapse right here and now if we saw a manta ray. Unfortunately, manta rays are not too common around this area. There has been some sightings, but unfortunately, they don't come here regularly, which is a shame.
We can see all those garden eels retracting back into their burrows as we swim over the top of them.
Well, we're actually heading towards this big female. She is just in front of us. She seems to be feeding now. So she's had her morning shower, and now she is after breakfast. So she seems to be feeding on the sandy bottom. And that barjack is still with her. So we're going to try and get you a view of her feeding. It's quite unique when you see a stingray feeding. They do something called tinting. And this is when they push down those pectoral fins we were talking about onto the sand, and they sort of lift up their head and body so that it literally looks like a tent. And they're sort of creating a vacuum, if you like, to suck in all these little mollusks and crustaceans and animals living in the sand into their mouth. So right now, oh, the hogfish is trying to get some action. Did you see that?
Yeah, we can.
So there's a male hogfish there and a barjack, all trying to steal some food from this stingray. Now you can see it's creating quite a plumage of sand. Oh wow, this barjack is like really going for it. And this is why we often see a goatfish creating this sort of cloud of sand, and that's why we think, oh, stingray, and then we realise it's just a goatfish. So this female is definitely having her breakfast. And what we find is when stingrays are eating or feeding, they tend to let you get quite close. They're fully focused on feeding, and they're kind of not really using their eyes at all. They're using these special pores that I told you about, and they're detecting pressure changes to find their prey. So they really don't bother about us at all. And this little hogfish here is just checking the area where the stingray was in case there's anything left.
Oh, yep, looks like it got something as well. So, proud cat mama, I hope Lauren answered your question then about how they hunt using sight or sound. It's actually by another sense there. And what is this hogfish doing?
He kind of just swallowed it, and I don't know. Oh, it's really cute.
Perhaps it's what is it trying to do here?
I think he's trying to crush it. There's like a shell, maybe there's something inside, but he's not really managing it.
This is an awesome sighting, though.
I know, what an awesome dive. We've still got eyes on this female as well.
So quite often we will see fish such as the hogfish and the barjacks hanging around stingrays, and they're essentially just using the stingrays as a metal detector for their food, if you want to think of it in that way, because obviously the stingrays are very sensitive to what is happening underneath the benthic layer, and so they can just follow it around, and wherever the stingray stops, then they know that there's going to be some food there.
So it's really smart, actually, you know, to sort of utilize another animal and know that they will sort of rummage through the sand and you can get a quick snack from it. It's a very smart way to feed. Now, we have approached another sort of coral bombing, coral outcrop, and the female stingray is around here. So we will... Oh, she's everywhere. Can you see her? She's just ahead now, swimming.
Yeah, we can see that. Gee whiz, Caldy's joined us too, so I've got all the BIE crew watching along. Shout out to you all. Thanks for supporting us. So for anyone who's joined in late, this is our second stingray sighting right now. We have seen one earlier that was resting, we've seen one cleaning, and we've also seen one feeding. So we've really just been following the stingrays through their morning routine.
And luckily they don't seem to be bothered that we are doing that. Yep, it's definitely feeding again, so that is the sort of biggest difference of the stingrays and the manta ray. They are bottom feeders, so because their mouth is on the other side and they are looking for crustaceans and mollusks, they will always be feeding on the sand. So they do swim in the water column, but generally you find the sort of flattened bodies of the stingrays on the sandy areas.
Now, Lauren, Andrew wants to know, what is your visibility and the water temperature?
The water temperature I can tell you because it's recorded on my dive computer. So it is 29 degrees Celsius, which is it about 84, 83 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yeah, about mid-80s.
Okay, perfect. And the visibility is really poor. I would say I can see well for about 10 meters in front of me. And other than that, it's very cloudy, it's very hazy. There is plankton, but there also seems to be a lot of sedimentation in the water as well. So we got really lucky with this stingray, because sometimes when the visibility is reduced, it is harder for us to spot things for you. And you can see how quickly she's moving. She's just checking all the coral bombings in all the areas for her favourite food.
And while we're talking about the food, Marcy wants to know, are the stingrays eating the sand or animals in the sand?
Animals in the sand. So they are sifting through the sand, which sort of creates that sand cloud that you like, but they're definitely sifting through the sand for animals that live within it. And a lot of cultures throughout the world actually eat stingray. You can eat the wings, so I imagine it would be very chewy, but a lot of cultures do eat stingray.
Now, Lauren, we have another question here. It is from Proud Cat Mama. She wants to know, are stingrays considered intelligent?
Sorry, I'm just going to fix a cable. What was that, Pat?
Oh, that's okay. Proud Cat Mama just wanted to know whether stingrays are intelligent, or whether they're considered intelligent.
That's quite a loaded question regarding animal intelligence. It's quite a tricky one in science. But I would definitely say they are further up the food chain. And they are obviously related to sharks and very well adapted to their environment. Okay. Rianne, we're just going to have to go back this way. Sorry about that, Pat.
That's alright.
I would just have to answer this question on a personal note, and I would say that yes, personally, I would think they're classified as intelligent. But I think most animals are. We have to remember each animal is adapted to their environment, especially in the ocean. Sound and light, they all travel so differently in the water. So a lot of animals have adaptations to survive, navigate, find mates, find food in the ocean, which is such a different environment from what we know. So unfortunately the cable ran out, so the female stingray is off, and we are now going to come a little bit shallower. So I have got around 60 bar, so we're just going to go onto the coral reef, and unfortunately I will be ending the dive very soon. I'm sorry it's a little bit shorter than normal, but I think we had some awesome sightings.
Yeah, it's definitely great when we can get a couple of stingrays and stay on them. I feel like we've just about covered every single base with stingrays today.
I hope so. I feel like I know so much about them, I have to share it with you all. Is there any last questions that we can finish on, Pat?
Yeah, we've got a couple. So, Betty wants to know, do the stingrays eat anything off the coral itself?
No, they don't eat coral. And I don't imagine they would eat anything on the coral unless there was a tasty mollusk there. But no. They are more commonly sifting through the sand, and there is another stingray feeding right there in front of us. I'm not sure we're going to be able to reach it or not. Wow, this is stingray heaven.
Yeah, they're all about today. And so we have one more stingray question here.
Yep.
Love Dogs wants to know whether the stingrays are related to the flounders because they both have that flat body.
They're both fish, but no, they're not closely related. Flounders are part of the bony fish grouping, where their skeletons are all made from bone, and stingrays are completely separate. They are part of the cartilaginous grouping of fish.
So don't forget, if you have any very last-minute questions, to ask away, either on Facebook or YouTube. And if you're using Twitter...
I'll have to cut you off there, Pat,
okay.
Because I am at 50 bar. So there is no time left. So, out of air, but that was an awesome dive. Thank you, everyone. We did see, I think, 3 different stingrays. The southern stingrays, which is part of the whiptail grouping. So it was just awesome for me. They were both feeding and cleaning. So again, I'm sorry it was a shorter dive, but it was an awesome one. It's now time for me and Rianne to go do our safety stop and go back to the surface for breakfast. So please do join us again for the second dive, which is at 11 a.m. Grand Cayman time. Thank you, Rianne. Thank you, Pat. And thank you, diveLIVE family. We'll see you then.
Thank you, everybody. What an awesome dive. I can't wait to take you under with me at 11 a.m. Grand Cayman time.